Have you ever faced a situation where your code just doesn't behave the way you expect? It's frustrating, right? If you're dealing with Hystrix and its fallback methods triggering unexpectedly, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to explore how to prevent Hystrix from triggering fallbacks for specific business exceptions. I totally understand how annoying it can be when your fallback methods kick in for exceptions that shouldn't trigger them. You're not alone in this struggle. Many developers face this issue when working with Hystrix. Here's the specific situation we're addressing. One user recently asked, "How can I stop Hystrix from triggering fallbacks for certain business exceptions without using annotations?" This is a common concern, and if it sounds familiar, let's dive into the solution together. So why does this happen? Hystrix is designed to provide fallbacks for failures, but sometimes it can be too aggressive, triggering fallbacks for exceptions that are part of your business logic. Understanding how to customize this behavior is key. And stick around. At the end of this video, I have a valuable tip that will help you manage your Hystrix commands more effectively. To prevent Hystrix from triggering the fallback for specific business exceptions, the user should override the run method in their Hystrix command class. This is where the main logic of the command is executed. Next, the user needs to implement the logic to handle specific exceptions. This can be done by checking the type of exception caught in the run method. After that, the user should ensure that the fallback method is only called for exceptions that are not the specific business exceptions. This can be achieved by using a conditional statement. Finally, the user should test their implementation to confirm that the fallback is not triggered for the specified business exceptions. This can be done by simulating those exceptions during testing. Fun fact, did you know that Hystrix was originally developed by Netflix to handle latency and fault tolerance in their microservices architecture? It's a powerful tool, but like any tool, it needs to be used wisely. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. One alternative approach is to wrap your logic in a try-catch block. If an exception occurs, you can rethrow it as a Hystrix bad request exception. This prevents the fallback from being triggered. According to the documentation, a Hystrix bad request exception represents an error with provided arguments rather than an execution failure. This means it won't trigger the fallback or count against failure metrics. That's all on that answer. Let's take a look at another one. One alternative approach is to use the Hystrix command annotation to specify which exceptions to ignore. For example, you can include HTTP status code exception and JSON mapping exception in the ignore exceptions parameter. Another method involves throwing a Hystrix bad request exception for specific error codes. This way, you can customize your code to ignore certain exceptions without triggering the fallback. Here's the tip I promised. Always document your custom exception handling logic. This will help you and your team understand the flow of your application better and avoid confusion in the future. And there you have it. You now know how to prevent Hystrix from triggering fallbacks for specific business exceptions. Remember, customizing your commands can lead to more robust applications. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more tips, and don't miss our next video where we dive deeper into Hystrix best practices.